going on, Dub Nation? I am your host of Warriors Today by Chat Sports, Allie Barefoot. And Draymond Green has now brought up twice talking about retirement. He brought it up during his indefinite suspension that he wanted to retire. Then Adam Silver was like, hey, maybe let's hold off on that. And now he's bringing it up again on Paul Pierce's podcast. We're going to talk about Draymond Green possibly retiring. On the back half of the show, I want to talk about Trayce Jackson-Davis and how he could possibly be the future of the Golden State Warriors. But I just have one request from you guys before we dive into all the information I have for you, is just go on ahead and share this video for me. My goal for the regular season was to have 750 shares on Warriors Today by Chat Sports. As of right now, we're up to 526. Thank you guys so much. So I want to give back to you. All you guys have to do is share this video to another member of Dub Nation, to your grandma, to whoever you want. Tag me on Twitter, AR Barefoot, and I'm going to give you a shout out on our next Warriors video on demand. All you guys have to do is share the video right now. Let's talk about Draymond Green, shall we? It could be an end of an era. The report did show that Draymond Green won't announce his retirement. He does not want a farewell tour. So, if you happen to be in the offseason in the next 2 or 3 years, and you just randomly see a Woj bomb that says Draymond Green has retired from the NBA, just know this is how Draymond Green wanted to do it. And there's a reason for that. He was on the Paul Pierce podcast, and he basically said, look, I don't want a farewell tour because they're going to do to me what I did to you. And he said, look, I'm in year 12. 2 to 3 more years, maybe. The only chance my last year is announced is if that last year happens to coincide with Steph's last year, Klay's last year. If that's my last year, then that's the only chance it gets announced, because then I could ride Steph's coattail on his farewell tour and act like it's mine. Curry, however, did say a couple days ago, I feel like I have a lot of time left. Curry is 35 years old, I believe, right now, so he doesn't feel like his body is fully at the time to retire. So maybe Draymond Green can keep riding out his career until the trio is fully done. Because as of right now, Klay Thompson has no contract with the Warriors. Steph Curry is under contract through 2026, and so is Steve Kerr. So could we see Draymond Green's retirement come in the year 2026? Although, the Warriors should start preparing for the next few years with or without Draymond Green, because they're going to need to focus on getting a center this offseason. Whether Draymond Green is with the Warriors or not, the Warriors need to prioritize having or getting a big man. And I'm going to talk about Trayce Jackson-Davis and how he can be that guy for the Warriors more towards the back end of the show. But nonetheless, Draymond Green or not, get a 5. Get a big 5 while you're at it, Mike Dunleavy. Because when you look at the depth chart of next season, you do have Draymond Green, who's already on a first year of his 4-year contract, Draymond Green will be making $25.8 million next year. Kevon Looney about $8 million if they decide not to trade him away. He really hasn't produced for the Warriors in the second half of the season as they might have thought he would. Trayce Jackson-Davis will only be making $2.2 million. He's still on that rookie contract. And Dario and Usman's contract will be over. I highly doubt they're going to bring Dario back, and I highly doubt they're going to bring Garuba back. They might even get rid of Kevon Looney. So if you get rid of 3 out of the 5, you're going to have to really prioritize bringing in somebody else, or really relying on Trayce Jackson-Davis and hoping Draymond Green does not want to retire just yet. So like I said, if the Warriors start to prepare for Draymond Green's departure, they can start shadowing and creating Trayce Jackson-Davis into the center the Golden State Warriors need. I know I've seen you guys in the comments down below. You love Trayce Jackson-Davis. And the way the rookies and the young guys have been playing for the Warriors this year, I'm fully on the Trayce Jackson-Davis train, especially if they're going to get rid of Kevon Looney, Dario Saric, and Usman Garuba. So, I have a question for you guys. If Draymond Green does retire, I was talking to producer Smitty right before we made this video, and we said, should Draymond Green have a farewell tour when he retires? Draymond Green doesn't want one because he knows they are just going to annihilate him. And I'm not talking about Golden State Warriors fans. I'm talking about everybody else. So, do you guys think Draymond Green deserves a farewell tour when he does retire? I personally think yes. I would type Y. I think he's done wonders for the organization throughout the last decade, but I could see a lot of you guys, having dealt with his antics over the last couple of years, say no. So just go ahead and comment down below. And I do want to let you guys know about this amazing deal that's going on right now on Fanatics. If you guys want some fresh gear to look super nice in your next Golden State Warriors game, well, they have 2 t-shirts right now that are about $20 each, and I highly suggest running to go get them. I like generic t-shirts. That's just how I am. I'm not big like a flashy. I don't like a lot of stuff on my t-shirts. So these just basic, generic, blue Golden State Warriors t-shirts. You can't tell me. You could rock this on away games, home games, at a bar after the game, at a pregame beforehand, at any outing. If you guys just want to look fresh when you're going to work out at the gym, I highly suggest just going to chatsports.com/Warriors tees, and you can get this bad boy for $20. Along, there's a gray version as well. If you guys are more into that, there's also a gold version. I mean, they got all the Golden State Warriors colors for you. So just go to chatsports.com/Warriors tee. Be sure to use this link because that's how you're going to make it $20. Go on ahead and go to chatsports.com/Warriors tee. Let's talk about Trayce Jackson-Davis now. Let's primarily talk about what the heck he did against Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. Trayce Jackson-Davis, this is a picture of one of his plays when he came in the third quarter and he blocked Giannis. Then he goes the other end of the rim and he blocks him again. And then he goes on the other end of the court and does a masterful pick and roll to help Chris Paul put two in the basket. It was insane what Trayce Jackson-Davis did when he was given the opportunity to come in against the former NBA MVP. So I do want to break down what he did going into this game because Trayce Jackson-Davis actually said to a reporter after the game, he said, you know what I did to prepare to play the Bucks? I watched Blake Griffin film on how to defend Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Blake Griffin is not in the league right now. And while he has had some struggling years in the past, Blake Griffin was once a very dominant big for the NBA. He's got the frame of somebody like Giannis. So the fact that Trayce Jackson-Davis went to go remodel Griffin's style going up against a big man like Giannis, I think that's really credit to Blake Griffin. It's also very smart for Trayce Jackson-Davis to find a guy that he knows can do some damage and to master it after him. I thought it was also great for Steve Kerr to really lean on Trayce Jackson-Davis for this moment. The Warriors went to halftime with a 20-point lead. We love that. That's great. But Warriors fans have seen this before where they blow that lead. That's exactly what they did. They put that lead all the way down to 6 in the third quarter, and it's the Bucks. It's the second team in the Eastern Conference. They're going to fight. However, Kerr decided to go with Trayce Jackson-Davis over Draymond Green in this scenario. So I thought it was great for Steve Kerr to be able to pull out the rookie over the vet, and Draymond Green was totally on board with it. The Warriors' lead fell to 6. TJD responded immediately with those two blocks to Giannis in masterful pick and roll plays. He had an agenda to check when he came into that game. That's exactly what he did. After the game, Steve Kerr did say what TJD means to this rotation, and he just had to switch it up because whatever he was doing was not working on the court. So he said, Trayce, get in there. That's exactly what he did. He said, I know I can trust him. We've got to get Trayce more minutes to get him ready for playoffs because he needs reps. He needs more time after they beat the Milwaukee Bucks last night. And this is a great example of Steve Kerr's coaching and how influential it can be to think about, hey, this is the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. If I got to go up against them in the NBA Finals, I want Trayce to have already seen Giannis and know how to defend him. And he defended him pretty freaking good. TJD also went 57th in the 2023 NBA draft. He was drafted along 19th pick Brandon Podziemski, and this has had a chip on Trayce Jackson-Davis' shoulder since he got into the league. A lot of people, especially 95.7 The Game, were saying, look, I cannot imagine that Trayce Jackson-Davis fell so far into the draft. He said this might be the Warriors' Brock Purdy. And this is what Trayce Jackson-Davis said after he was drafted 57th. Y'all will regret it. I promise you that. Gary Payton II said after the game that he's already doing just that. He is making teams regret passing up on him, not drafting him. He said he's picking up a lot of things, and when you've got the greatest on your side, it's kind of easy to fall in line and get a feel for how the OGs play. And there was no better organization in the NBA to learn from veterans than the Golden State Warriors. They have some of the best veterans still playing in the NBA right now. They've got Steve Kerr, who has won numerous Coaches of the Year awards. I think Trayce Jackson-Davis is in the perfect system for him, and I think he's going to do nothing but make people regret not drafting him. So Mike Dunleavy and Steve Kerr need to have a light bulb go off in their head to say, hey, we've got this kid right now. Keep him, train him, and have him be successful. Does Trayce Jackson-Davis need to be averaging more or less than 13.2 minutes per game? I put this on the community tab of Warriors Today by Chat Sports on YouTube, and 1.7 thousand of you commented, liked it, voted in the poll, and 97% of you said yes. So I want to see what the comment section has to say. Type M for more, type L for less. Overall, that was a great performance from the Golden State Warriors, and I hope to see more of that. They responded with adversity coming out after getting blown out by the Boston Celtics, which we're not going to talk about that. But nonetheless, if you guys want more intake and more info on the Golden State Warriors, all you guys have to do is go on ahead and hit that sub button for me.